Hey, what's up guys? This is the next Forex Pro, and in this video I'm going to be going over dollar CAD for today. Today's Friday 8/19, and so just a quick little top-down analysis looking at the 240-minute chart. Now this is actually a daily fair value gap. Let me actually open that up real quick right here. And we had seen that on Monday the market rallied up, created this fair value gap. I would have loved to have seen that get in there and to be able to trade it. There was a few opportunities in dollar CAD, however, not to my liking and not to my rules. So definitely not something that I took a trade on. And as a matter of fact, I think I went over on Tuesday. So if you saw my 8/16 video, you saw I was able to pretty much not take a trade based on my rules, and that would have resulted in a loss if I would have taken it, just because I see the setup. And so one thing ICT mentions is that you don't just take a setup just to take the setup. There's got to be a narrative behind it. And so that's one thing that's always in my mind, especially in my back testing and in my forward testing. That was something I always kept in mind of. And so the reason why I did not take that trade, and which actually I can go over that right now. So that was on Tuesday, I believe. That was 8/16 Tuesday. Yep, 8/16 Tuesday, where the setup happened. However, there was no news. There was news at the at the 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, but there was no more news after that. And so that's when there's news. I usually I like to take the trade within an hour and a half or 2 hours of that time span. Usually an hour and a half is what I'd be willing to give it. Unless there was news at 7 a.m., then that would have given me that 1 hour and a half to be able to, possibly wait and be able to take this trade. So that's number one. There was no news. Number two, around 7 a.m., that's really when I'm ready to throw in the towel and call it a day. And so that's pretty much it. But anyways, as you can see, during this time, I did not take this trade. And so you could see that this trade would have resulted in a loss. And so, like I said, just based on my rules, using news to your advantage, because that's when the algo will create liquidity, and it'll run to an imbalance, or excuse me, it'll run to rebalance, or it'll run to take out buy stops or sell stops, and pretty much engineer liquidity. But anyways, Wednesday was pretty good though, by the way. However, once again, there was an opportunity here after 10 a.m. Eastern, and there was I've been watching crude oil news. So if you guys are following me, watch crude oil news. I noticed when it's crude oil news, I remember that used to be red, and then it changed to orange, and now for some reason it's yellow. And so even though the news is yellow, I don't trade yellow news. It's usually just orange and red. However, every time there's crude oil news, I noticed that because it's related to dollar CAD as U.S. oil, when that moves, dollar CAD also moves as well. And so that may be something to start looking into for crude oil. And so I'm definitely keeping notes, and that's all I can do. So just keeping notes of that. And I've been watching that specific crude oil news. But anyways, I digress. For today, the trade I took was here for dollar CAD. Beautiful trade here. Now I already did the top down analysis for the daily. Now this is the 240-minute chart. You can see we pretty much rallying to the upside on the 60-minute. Same thing, we're rallying to the upside, and as ICT mentions it, every black candle or whatever down close candle that you have for you, that is what will provide a resistance, if you will, but it's not really support and resistance is what ICT mentions. So I don't if I don't explain it well, then y'all can go ahead and comment and let me know, for all you guys, that if I don't say it right. The way how I understand it is just how he explains it, that the market should not, right? If we're rallying, right, my bias is up, the market should not push lower than that down candle. And so that's exactly what I did. I put my horizontal lines right there. You can see that, very simple. Then on the 15-minute, there was, now on the 1 hour, there was a fair value gap here where it happened at the 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. There was news, it pushed lower, and then it did fill up the fair value gap. And then at 6:30, or excuse me, at 6:30, at the New York stock market open, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, you can see the market pushed lower. It pushed the market down. It went up a little bit, then went all the way down. It took out what? Sell side liquidity. It came into this 15-minute fair value gap right here, right there. And then you can see this candle here. And I could have even done this instead, right? This down candle here. This one would have been okay as well. But I usually do it at the bottom here. And so you can see it went inside of this fair value gap. It did not go any lower than that. So that was my cue. Go into my 5-minute. This is my trading time zone. And you can see here, we took out buy side here, took out sell side, and then we rallied hard, really good. And this is all within New York kill zone time. So we rallied up, took out buy side liquidity. We actually rebalanced this area here. And when that happens, all that's left for the market to do, if your bias is up, would be to buy this, right? Once you're ready to buy it, I bought it here at this 50%. I put my Fibonacci extension here. Here's the 50% level. I bought it right there. And let me actually turn this on. Markers only. There's my purchase right there, around 86 level. And I ended up taking out, I closed the trade. Once I saw this go above, I went ahead and closed it. Execution ended up closing me out around 02. I think on my NT4, I would have gone like 04 or something like that. I mean, it was pretty much the same. And there you go. It is what it is. I took the trade. Once again, this is already around, this is like what, 11 a.m. Eastern time. By the way, I always have a problem converting time. By the way, when I pause is because I'm looking at my time is 8 a.m. Eastern Pacific time, and so I'm just adding 3 hours for Eastern time. So yeah. Anyways, but you can see there's the trade that I took, and I'll be doing my weekly overview for this whole week for my my Forex funds challenge. And this is it for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys later.